Hi! So I wanted to make a video for my sister on how to do image transfers from laser printers specifically to wood or tile or glass or metal or any other fairly flat, non-porous material. Looking around the internet though, there were so many videos and my family lineage is not exactly very patient. So I thought maybe I could make one tutorial that covers all of the bits and pieces that I've had to find out on my own and then send it to her. And then I realized, maybe there's other people out there that are having issues with some of the images like I am. So first and foremost, hearing the whole, ooh, I can transfer an image to wood, I realized not all images. I figured you could just basically glue a photography picture from Shutterfly or any regular printed picture onto wood, and that's not the case. You need a laser printer. Inkjet, some people can do, and they've had some success with it, but it's really going to be not photo quality. So if you're looking for like arts and crafts type stuff, you can do it like that. But if you want it to look like a picture has transferred onto your surface, and you have to use the laser. So for example, this one I did of my boys. These are my two, and these are my sisters. And you can see everyone's video that I've gone and looked at so far has shown that they're saying that you're going to have some rub and you're going to have spots that are going to come off. Now the corners, yeah, because they're corners, they're hard. But when you start getting the bits and pieces inside, and if you see at the bottom, there's just a whole part that just did not get enough image transfer medium. It just completely came off. And so, it takes a lot of work to get this on here, and you have to wait a day for it to dry. So that's not really acceptable for me, because that's like a loss of my time, and my time is kind of important. So this is kind of what I was trying to hope to avoid. I want a little bit of damage just because it looks rustic and it adds character for what I want to do, but I'd like to have it a lot better. So I'm going to be using the other side to try to do what I think now has been perfected. That will be an amazing transfer with almost no lift, and hopefully the picture will just come out amazing, and then I can do what I want to it, which means I'll have to sand the edges a little bit to make them look rustic, and then I'll probably use some stain on the corners to make it look just kind of old and crafty and stuff, because I like that. And I've used a couple different types of image transfer mediums. Americana, I don't know if you can see that. It's Americana Decor. This is the Ultra Matte Varnish. They also have the image transfer medium and the light blue one. It's 8 ounces and it was about $8 on Amazon. So far I like this one the best. There's also the Ranger Multi-Medium Matte that I picked up as well, because I was trying to use different ones because I was having such a hard time with everything coming off that I thought maybe it was the medium. I also tried Mod Podge. Got a big old thing of Mod Podge because I started just pretty much doing every picture I could find on some surface. What I've found so far is that it doesn't matter which you're really using, it really matters the contact to the wood. That's what you're trying to do. As long as you're using that laser image, laser images are waterproof, and that's why they work better than inkjet, which is not, and they'll start running. So, brush, slightly damp rag, Mod Podge. One thing I would suggest is, like here's one that I just did. Came out really, really well. It was just a photo I had printed, but I didn't think it was going to come out well on wood, because anywhere in the photo you're printing, there's white areas, they're going to come through to the wood. So you'll see that wood grain, which is great. I think it looks good. But for certain images, you'll notice it's not obvious what the image is right away. And you kind of want it to be obvious. You don't want someone to have to stare at it to figure out what it is. And I'm using the back of a piece of wood that I already did with me and my son. And again, you can see a lot of the wood grain through it, which I really, really like. But there's a lot of shadows, so it was a little bit harder for people to see. And this one has been glazed over with the varnish, so it should be waterproof and all that. So I like to use the back sides to practice on stuff I don't like for different techniques. So this is the technique that I was able to get. So literally all of my corners are intact. The entire picture is intact. Yay! So what I would recommend is, here's a couple more that I've done just to show the differences in texture and color. So I love the blue skies and how it has some of the wood grain, and this is just grass that was a yellowish color, so you'll still see through, kind of like if it was white, and it kind of shows the wood grain, which is interesting. If you do ones like this, you'll notice the stain I used on the side. It's not, it's very boxy, so you'll need to remember that for when you do it. When you put your image down, if it's cut like this, the stain's not going to go into the color of the image, not that much at least. So you might want to either sand it off a bit or cut it down when you do the image transfer itself, so it's just that small image on it, and I think that probably would have came out a little bit better. And always remember, for words, numbers, anything like that, you are going to want to do an image flip. So I really loved this picture. It was so awesome. Except the numbers I missed on the side of this mailbox in Colorado. So I didn't inverse the image. So when I put it on, they're backwards. So it's a lovely image. It turned out amazing, and it's backwards. So, little eye for detail. And here's another one that I did that came through with the wood, and I really liked that one too. So they take time, and they hurt your arms a little bit, so you might want to experiment with using different towels that are slightly damp and also sponges that are slightly damp. You don't want it too damp or you're just going to end up lifting your image off the surface of whatever you're trying to do. So the only other thing I can say about that and getting ready for doing this is you can tape your corners if you want. Like if you have an image like this, if you get any of that image transfer medium when you're painting onto the wood above it, like if you just kind of paint it on, then the stain is going to be water blocked to that point. So if you want to use your tape to tape off exactly where you're going to be, like a painter's tape, so you'll only cover exactly the area where the photo is going to go, that really helps you. And if you do it ahead of time, it'll also tell you where to place your picture too, so it's not too much here, not enough here. It'll be exactly where you want it from the get-go. All right, so I'm going to set up and then I will show you how to do the rest.